Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bay LA podcast, your home for everything Warriors, Lakers, and news from around the association. I am Casey alongside my co-host, Roman. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm excited. We had a good night.
We sure did. And we're about to get into that. But before we do, got to give the old message of if you're tuning in right now, to please show some love, give us a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, subscribe, comment or anything, we appreciate you guys for listening. And yeah, so let's just get right into it. Warriors defeat the Celtics 118-112 on the road in Boston. Yeah, what a game that was.
Yeah, I mean, there's like throughout the week, even from the weekend, there was this kind of building pressure of like there's this road stretch coming for the Warriors, and yeah, play the Wizards, beat the Wizards, but then it's the Celtics, and then
Right.
it's the Cavs, and then the Thunder. But this Celtics game, a rematch. I mean, there's a whole narrative with Kerr and Tatum. Like there was so much buildup and like excitement and tension for this game, and wow, did it pay off? Wow,
It,
did it pay off?
it sure did. And coming into this game, there's a few absences on both sides. The Warriors were without Brandon Pajemski. He subbed out of that Wizards game, not feeling well, and still not feeling well. Can't play through it, so he did not play. D'Anthony Melton still dealing with a back issue. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow to see if he can play against the Cavaliers this weekend, I believe. But yeah, he's playing 3-on-3 right now, so they're taking it slow. And then for the Celtics, on the Celtics side, they're without Jaylen Brown, dealing with a left hip flexor strain, and then Kristaps Porzingis with a foot injury. The team is aiming for him to return in December. But yeah, I mean, the last time the Warriors played at the Garden, it was such a blowout. It was on March
Yeah.
3rd, and they were blown out 88-140. So it's
Yeah.
good to put that behind them, and then of course, like the 2022 finals. But both teams have
Yeah.
changed a lot since then. Even though there's still a lot of core pieces, yeah, both teams have remodeled quite a bit. Warriors starting five tonight was Steph Curry, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, and the Celtics starting five was Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Neemias Queta, and Al Horford. Derek White, in the absence of Jaylen Brown, was on absolute heater, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, he caught fire early because I mean he's just getting shots up, and
Yeah.
they seem to want to get him kind of into that rhythm throughout the game. Just keep getting him looks. But yeah, no, he's he's good. He's a great two-way player, and yeah, his
He
presence was
is.
felt.
Especially when you pair him with Drew Holiday. Like both those guys were just kind of hounding Steph, especially in that first half.
Yeah,
First quarter, pretty rough. I think Derek White had all of the Celtics points, or at least most of them, for the majority of the quarter, it felt like. And then
yeah,
the Warriors they're getting good shots. They just weren't falling. It
yeah,
happens. Um, but yeah, then the bench comes in. Buddy Hield comes in, kind of takes the lid off the basket, and then we start playing. Start playing basketball. It's a
yeah. I
very
mean,
defensive game.
it's a what?
It was a very defensive game, I would say.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a physical game. There was kind of a I don't know. There might not be like true animosity between these teams, but there's definitely like an agreed upon like, oh, we're gonna give each other our best. Like we're gonna play you right now. And I mean, I felt that with Wiggins. Honestly, he played very very good defense throughout the game. Like he was a presence, especially his matchup on Tatum, his rebounding. I mean, his offense was not really there, but I feel like we still had that like engaged, energized
Yeah.
Wiggins. Like
Yeah.
he was putting forth effort and energy on both sides of the floor, and that was incredibly important.
Absolutely. He definitely is playing. I mean, I feel like this whole season, like playing with an intensity and just more aggression than we're used to that we're used to seeing. Oh,
What's up, boys?
hey.
He made
Welcome
it.
in, Austin.
I just got done doing a separate little 10-minute segment for the Lakers stuff. I just wanted to take my bad energy and put it into that before I came to celebrate with you guys.
Welcome. Welcome in.
Yeah,
we're,
man.
we're just getting started here.
Yeah.
We're talking about Andrew Wiggins right now.
I've got about 7% battery, to be honest with you, so I'm going to stay for a little bit. This is your guys' thing. This is your guys' celebration. I'm sorry that I'm wearing a green hat right now. I feel terrible.
Oh wow. No, it's all good,
all right.
man.
It's all good.
It's
Yeah, I
all
was watching the game on my. Obviously, I had Lakers on my laptop, and then I had the Warriors game on the side of the phone. And I swear, like with maybe like a minute and 15 left, it just felt like you guys had the game, so I just put it down. And then when we were texting, you guys pulled it. You guys were like, "Oh, it's still a close one." I was like, "What the heck?" And then I saw Draymond miss. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh
yeah. It was a grinded out kind of game. Definitely kind of, dare I say, had like a playoff feel to it.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
And I think like what you were just saying, Roman, that these two teams have this like maybe this unspoken agreement that when we play each other, we're going all out. And it was certainly it was a great game and a game that I would have hated to lose.
Oh yeah. It's the bias in me for being a Warriors fan and having watched the final series, but man, do I just not like Boston. I just can't. And like having a Lakers fan with us present, like
I gave you guys a
agreed
shout out
upon
on the other
page.
side. I was like,
Yeah.
"Congrats," because it's F Boston always. So.
Yeah. 100%. But like
Oh, yeah.
I do have to tip my hat at them. They are a great team. And who surprised me the most this game was Nemius Kita. I don't know if that's even how
Oh
you
yeah,
pronounce
he
it.
was going crazy every time I turned it back on to look at what was going on. He was grabbing boards, he was dunking on people.
He was dominating us there. That was
dare I
was fun
say
to
he's
watch.
like the new Robert Williams?
Ooh,
Healthy
Healthy
Kinda-
Robert Williams?
he definitely fits that role.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
honestly, and I mean that kind of exposed one of the glaring weaknesses of the Warriors that I feel like we've covered before of, that kind of size and dominant presence in the paint. Because like Looney and TJD, they do have a lot of physicality to their game. They can kind of go through that like bump and grind and fight for balls. But like Keita was just on some other level tonight. He was everywhere. He was great.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple block shots that I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, he played great. And that is a great fit for that team because in the past, the Celtics have always kind of relied on that kind of presence for them in the interior. So that was interesting to note for the future matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like this was my first time really getting a chance to watch him play. Yeah, that team's going to be, I mean, they're nasty now, but when they get Porzingis back healthy.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to talking about rebounding, I feel like that was a part of the game that kind of drove me crazy was the amount of second chance points or second chance opportunities that the Celtics were getting. Just because, I mean, they shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah,
a lot of threes. I don't know how many threes they shot tonight, but they shoot a lot.
54.
54. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I sure believe it. And long shots make for long rebounds, and it just felt like when there was like a key moment in the game where it's like, oh, like the Warriors need to secure this rebound. Like they could not allow another, a Boston bucket here. Boston somehow found a way to get the ball, and it would end up going to like Peyton Pritchard. I remember hitting some big
Yeah.
threes.
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard, man, he was knocking him down. He's one of those like him and Al Horford are just like old reliables for them, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Al Horford had a huge three like towards the end of the game, like seconds
Yeah,
left
he
in the
did.
fourth quarter. Like, but the Warriors were able to button up and take care of business. Of course, I gotta say, like that second half Steph Curry performance was quite incredible. He had let's put up the box score right here. Yeah, Steph Curry with a sneaky 27 points.
Sneaky 27. We like that. We like that.
Sneaky.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
man, looking at it from the outside in, Warriors are for real. Warriors are for real. I feel good about your team, man. I feel good about your team.
I think
Yeah.
it really helps that it's the depth, like the bench too, like because when the game started, like the starting lineup didn't really produce a lot of offense. And then, you plug in Buddy Hield, and then he hits a shot. Jonathan Kuminga comes in off the bench. Which also, by the way, I feel like Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench has been a really good role for him so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's been massive to just like give their offense a different kind of look and function that they can go to with that second unit, because it just gives them more versatility with what they can do.
100%. And Kyle Anderson, I feel like second quarter he hit 3 threes in a row, gave the offense life.
Yeah, that was necessary. That was greatly appreciated. I loved every single shot. I wasn't really expecting to see that. Wasn't on my bingo card, but
we saw it.
Yeah, I mean that just kind of speaks to the point you're making here, Casey. It's almost like we're seeing some strength with numbers, strength in numbers.
It sure feels like it. I
boy.
mean, we are.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
We're 8 games into the season right now, and I gotta say, I agree. I agree with the statement. Looking at the box score right now, there's a handful of guys in double figures, and there are a lot of guys that are with 9, 8 points. Like everyone's chipping in and doing something. Which before the season started, I think that's something that we all kind of agreed upon. Like, what does this Warriors team need to do in order to be successful this season? Is everybody needs to do a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody stepping up to the plate right now.
Yeah. I mean, even Lindy Waters, who's kind of cooled off since his big coming out game where he lit up the box score, he's getting 14 minutes. Like he's getting reliable contributor opportunities for this team. And I mean, like, yeah, we're down a few of our 1,000 guards that we have on this roster. So yeah, he's gonna see playing time. But I also don't feel like we lose anything with him on the court, because I know he's still a scoring threat. I honestly think he's a reliable ball handler. Maybe not the best distributor, but he's not going to dribble it off his foot.
Yeah, he's not going to throw it away or turn it over.
Yeah,
I agree.
The ball's in safe hands. And I mean, also to that point, like Kyle Anderson was having to take over ball handling as well as Hield, because when Steph had to sit for a little bit, they needed someone else to kind of take the ball up and help run the offense with. I mean, yeah, if Steph isn't in or if Draymond's sitting too, like they're having to rely on those guys a little bit more. And it was good to see that they were someone that we could trust with that and not throw away possession after possession.
Yeah, especially in like a game like this where every possession going down the stretch meant a lot.
Oh man.
Just seeing like the hustle plays from Gary Payton II and Kevon Looney, PJD, Draymond, like everybody's just laying it all out on the floor. And this is like season just started. This team's already playing with like that kind of intensity and energy.
Yeah,
so
there's
very, very nice to see.
There's a synergized focus to the team. Like everyone is playing together with the same goal at all times. It's very rare when it feels like guys are not on the same page. And I mean, there was an awful turnover when Kuminga's trying to inbound the ball, and he passes it to Buddy Hield, who has his back to him, and it just bounces out. And then Hield gets a cheap foul on I think it might have been Pritchard or Hauser, one of those two guys. And that's just like, okay, guys, like what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
make sure that you're making eye contact and that you're trying to get the ball to just inbounding. Like, I don't know, it's just small little mistakes like that can easily be cleaned up. But I mean, I'll take the win at a win.
Absolutely. And it's all it's all in the details too. I feel like their defense they played, especially on Jason Tatum, was really good. And granted, Tatum still had a good game. Like he does what he does, but they just threw a bunch of different looks at him, timely double teams. It's kind of like overall, like just kind of like making life hard for him.
I feel like Kerr threw that into the game plan specifically. Like every now and then, we're just gonna make Jason Tatum's life terrible. Like
if I can't keep him on the bench, then I have to keep him out of the game some other way.
Exactly. I right as the game started, I was about like I think I got like a notification from ESPN like maybe like 15 minutes into your game showing just like the amount of boos he was getting. I think it was a Bleacher Report thing or something like that.
I'm sure.
And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I know that Kerr is gonna, if he wins, he's gonna just love it. Absolutely love it. So I know you guys wanted this one. This was I think we talked about it. This is like one of the games that we had circled on the calendar to try to get everybody on and watch.
It sure was. And these next, I mean, really like, because they got 2 games two games left on this road trip. They'll go play Cleveland and then go play OKC on the road.
When's the Cleveland game?
That's Friday.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be a good one.
And
you
then,
guys can do it, man.
Oh, I think they got.
I don't know. They're big, man.
I'm so worried about the Cavs.
Yeah, their interior press. I mean, we felt it. No pause. Yeah, I mean, bro, they're why can't I think Evan Mobley and Jared Jackson, right? No,
Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro.
Yeah, those guys, bro, they're ridiculously big. They're long. Yeah. Like they're trees down there, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's gonna have to be a big loony game for you guys, and TJD and like your shooters got to be going so that they can space the floor to open up the middle and get the shots up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely that's a game to watch for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And then of course the Thunder, which let's see how they're doing right now. Ooh, so the Thunder are in a close one right now against the Nuggets, 99-98.
Ooh, the Nuggets brought it back.
They brought it back with 11:20 left in the game. But as it stands right now, the Thunder are currently undefeated, and the Cavaliers are undefeated. They defeated the Pelicans, not too long ago, like while we were setting up the show. But they beat the Pelicans 131-122.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you guys absolutely crushed it tonight. I've got 2% battery. I'm gonna get off of here. I just wanted to pop in real quick and say, go Warriors.
Thanks for popping in.
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
Yeah, go Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
How do I get out of here? Leave studio. There we go. See ya.
Peace.
Later. Always great hearing from our Laker guy, Austin Sexton.
Yeah. Glad he could make some time for us after a tough loss.
I got a moth in here.
Oh, whoa, I saw that. Oh, it's going after you, man. Don't like you.
Anyways, I'm gonna leave it alone, and hopefully it leaves me alone, and we'll continue. But anyways, yeah. Going back to the Celtics game, who'd be your player of the game if you had to choose one?
Oh man,
a lot of good performances on the Warriors' end.
Player of the game.
Or it doesn't even have to be a player of the game. It could just be like who do you want to shout out?
Honestly, it's got to be Neemias. Like, I
like it.
It's not someone that I've really had a lot of knowledge or information on, or really tracked through his short career thus far. But like, he played extremely well, and I think he's going to be a piece for them to rely on heavily.
Yeah,
I haven't watched many Celtics games thus far this season, but I'd like to look into them now to see the type of play time that he's been getting, and how much of an impact he's had on those games as well. Because I think it was put really well. Like, it's kind of that Robert Williams type of comparison for
Right.
how they're using him, and honestly just how he plays, his play style. It's very similar, and it's super effective for them.
Absolutely. And he put up 14 points, 6 of 11 shooting. That's really good. That's really solid numbers. And he wears number 88, which is probably a wide receiver number, but I love it.
And I'll just say, as a Warriors player of the game, it will be Kyle Anderson. Just because of the 3 threes he made, and just like, for that moment, it felt like it started to kind of swing the momentum for the Warriors a little bit at that time, because offense was kind of just still not really in the groove yet. Yeah, so I think that was just a really important moment for that, like, momentum shift for them.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
and I'd probably say Kyle Anderson as well. He even, I think he had the icing on the cake free throws at the end of the game. Which,
yes,
by the way, the free throws this season have kind of been not great. Pretty worrisome towards the very end of the game, where Joe Mazzulla was having the Celtics, force the Warriors win the game at the line.
Yeah.
But they clutched up. Like, they were 12-13 as a team in the fourth quarter from the line. I think Draymond just missed one free throw, but he made the second one. So, they had to make one to keep it like a 2-possession game or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they needed.
But yeah, man.
As well, I know Wiggins had two free throws that he made late in the fourth quarter as well. And from my experience, I feel like Wiggins loves to split free throws. So just getting that extra one, especially for how tight of a game it was, where it was just a one possession, could change the lead right there. It was like, please hit both. And then he does. It's like, okay, I feel much better. And then, of course, Draymond, missing the one was a little bit of a stressor. But yeah, we made it through. I do have to ask, just looking at the numbers and the shooting volume for these teams.
Yes.
Are the Celtics shooting too many threes? Is it becoming potentially a problem for them? And they're a 7-2 team.
Right.
They barely lost to the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, and that's what makes me say it's like borderline a problem. Like, I think there's that age-old saying, like, you live by the 3, die by the 3. And of course. But if you die by the 3, but you get your second chance rebounds, third chance rebounds, then I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. They definitely have the personnel where they can afford to take as many threes. It might not necessarily be the most fun to watch from a viewer's perspective, but they're 7-2, barely lost tonight. They're definitely in a good place moving forward. Probably still going to be the favorites to win it all again. But yeah, it's definitely in this new NBA where we're seeing like the increase of the 3-point shot. I feel like they're taking it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 50 plus is like a normal night for them.
Yeah. No, they're definitely a high volume 3-point shooting team. And we've seen it where they're trying to break the record for threes made in a game on opening night.
Yes.
And like, that wasn't like a goal or intention that they set immediately. But then when they tied it, they then missed 12 threes in a row trying to break the record. And it's like,
Yeah,
how, like,
I think that's the
does that,
basketball gods coming down.
like, does that represent like a type of success or a failure?
Yeah, I don't know. That's deep.
Yeah, I know that's an entirely different conversation, but yeah, I it's just
Because
something
like,
to consider.
no, for sure. Because like, you can knock down as many threes as you want, but like, if you can't make that one three, whether it's to break the record or to win the game, like, is it all that good? Like, you can get better, higher percentage shots somewhere else. Yeah, they're an interesting team, man, the Celtics. And they're without Jaylen Brown, which I feel like is, he's a huge part of that team. And
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for how he's been playing thus far this season, how he played last year in the finals, like he deserved MVP in the
I
finals.
agree, I totally agree.
He played incredibly well, and I mean, it's it's definitely noticed when you don't have his, I think, all around skill set
Right,
that he can bring to an offense where I don't think there's so much of an intention for Tatum to use all of his skill sets in the way that I feel like Jaylen Brown is able to and sometimes emphasize to for their offense, because he brings a little bit more of that dynamicism for them
for
in an
sure.
offensive set, because he's just hyper skilled and he is a quality player.
Yeah, he
Um,
can kind of do it all.
yeah, yeah. I just to bring it back to the Warriors side, we've been gushing about the Celtics for a minute here. I am sad only 13 minutes for Moody.
Yes,
He played good during his
he
time
did.
on the
He did play,
floor.
and I liked him in this with the starting lineup.
Oh, I love it. I love him seeing starting minutes, but of course he's always the first guy out.
Yeah,
I will say there was, I think, in the third quarter, a lineup that I wasn't too fond of. I think it had Steph, Gary Payton, I think Kaminga, Draymond, and TJD or Looney. And I wish that Moody had gotten back into that specific lineup just to kind of add another.
like another shooting threat.
Yes,
Yeah,
precisely. It was like, this can't be the let's build this lineup just around get Steph open, get Steph a look, which is
yeah.
fine at some point, but like
But
for
everyone's
how
gonna see it
good,
coming.
but yeah, everyone kind of knows what the play is going to be, and the Celtics have an extremely good defense, so it's like maybe just create another threat. I understand Gary Payton adds a whole other layer with his cutting ability, which he
Yeah,
showed all night. Like he got behind the defense a couple times, and it was just like, thank you for just getting that done. Um, but yeah, I feel like there was a couple opportunities where Moody could have gotten more minutes, and I of course, as more Moody minutes demanders.
More Moody Minutes.
you
Perfect.
heard it here, and you'll continue to hear it here. More. Yeah, I thought Moody had a good game as well. 13 minutes, three for five from the field. It was just like his hustle, his overall hustle. Like, he goes hard for rebounds. He dives for loose balls. He does all the things that you can't really coach. Like, there's just have to have a one desire to like play hard, and he plays hard. And I think reliable player for the most part. I feel comfortable with him taking threes, and like, he gets open. He knows where to be, when to be. So yeah, I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised to see him only get 13 minutes, but you know, again, I guess that's the issue you have when you have such a deep team like the Warriors do right now. Like, even Trace Jackson Davis, your starting center, played 16 minutes, and
Mhm.
I feel like he had a good game too. Like, definitely became like a vertical threat towards the end, like catching lobs.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Kuminga,
just him running to
18
the rim.
minutes. Like, it seems like a lot of guys are kind of around that like 13 to like 18-minute threshold, and then you had Draymond with 30, Steph with 34,
Yeah.
and Wiggins with 31, and Buddy with 29. I mean, Buddy Hield, man. We could do a whole episode just about Buddy Hield this year so far.
Oh yeah, it's
What a
it's
fit
hard.
for this team.
Yeah, it's again. I don't want to say that I'm surprised
Right.
by it, but like, I think because as Warriors fans, it's been this whole Klay Thompson is no longer with this team. Who is going to be that two guard next to Steph that can just knock down shots? And again, I don't want to say that I'm surprised that Buddy Hield is shooting at the level that he is and as efficient as he is, but like it's everything and more that the Warriors needed for that replacement.
When you see it happen in like real time, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, like that fourth quarter corner three that he hits off of the Steph pass when Steph essentially gets double teamed. Because Tatum is looking off into nowhere, not tracking that Buddy Hield is just fading off into the corner, and Steph can kick it out immediately. And open three, I mean, Buddy hits those. Seen that all year. Seen it most of his career. Like it's what he does. But yeah, Buddy Hield's been an incredible addition to this team.
Yeah, but shout out Mike Dunleavy for making that happen.
Yeah,
getting D'Anthony Melton and Buddy Hield from the. I think they were both part of the Klay Thompson sign and trade that involved like 6 teams.
Yeah, 6 teams or whatever to make that work.
And also, shout out to Jerry Stackhouse for because the defense this year looks great. Like they're playing nasty on defense.
It's disciplined, engaged. I mean, all the hustle plays that we've described between Moody, Gary Payton, I mean, Wiggins, like Looney. Oh man. Looney's had some beautiful plays, man. Looney is a man reborn because he just gets to split minutes perfectly with TJD.
Yes.
And he finally has someone to be like, okay, you do the rebounding and the easy layups while I can take a breather. And yeah, he
gets in there and he scraps and
and he ends up in the closing lineup sometimes
he does.
I mean, just because of his own discipline, his own experience in those scenarios and situations with the Warriors the past few years, like he's as reliable as it gets for what the Warriors want out of the center position. And yeah,
absolutely.
The statue of Looney, I mean, it will be something. Maybe not as bad as Wade's, but we'll see what that looks like. But
I'll be looking forward to that day.
Yeah, I mean, quickly to go back to Moody and I mean his play and engagement. I mean, you were kind of saying that he always has that like the engine's always on, it's running, and he's always ready to go. He's hustling.
Yeah,
it's something that I mean. To what we've also said earlier about Wiggins and like how engaged he's been, it's kind of been like that, like a mirrored thing between them, that like both of them have been 100% engaged. And for Moody, who gets a starting position but not like minutes,
right,
constantly engaged in his what were we saying? 13 minutes. Like those minutes matter for him. He knows the role and has bought in 100% of what the Warriors have asked of him.
Yeah, and
that I mean that's
13 impactful minutes too. It's not like 13 minutes or it's like the minutes don't mean anything. It's like 13 minutes
just getting cardio.
Yeah, like it's 13 minutes of real gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing up and he's a pro's pro. And I feel like the whole team has kind of bought into what Steve Kerr and the coaching staff wants to do. And we're seeing it just kind of work out right now. But moving ahead, we got the Cavaliers on Friday, who are 9-0. Yeah, we kind of talked about the Cavaliers a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's gonna be another test. Yeah, this whole stretch that we got coming up for the Warriors, they're all hard teams, but I think the Warriors can give any team a run for their money. Like, I feel pretty comfortable saying that
Hmm.
after what I saw from tonight, even though the Celtics were shorthanded, the Warriors were as well. But the Cavaliers just present a different batch of problems than the Celtics do.
Yeah, they are a big team.
They are a
With,
big
I mean,
team.
yeah, as we said, Okoro, Mobley, Jared Allen. I mean, Karis LeVert.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a very dominating presence for the interior, and I mean a lot of great rim protection, and that's going to be interesting to look at for how, I mean, TJD is used, how Looney is used,
Right.
and honestly what their effectiveness is going to be like against that, because a lot of the rim running and the passes to the interior to those guys, like, are those lanes going to be open, and are they even going to try to risk like playing into that and trying to play around that? And yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
scoring threats of Mitchell and Darius Garland, that's always going to be a factor, because
Yeah.
those
You
guys have
got a
been
two-headed
lethal.
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game. And then, of course, they are led by head coach Kenny Atkinson, former Golden State Warriors assistant. So it's nice to see their old friend at a new gig and just absolutely killing it. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a tough one. Curious to see how Jonathan Kuminga plays in this matchup, especially given the size advantage that the Cavaliers have. Like, are those lanes for him going to be open? But yeah, it's we'll see. And then after that, the Warriors will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, let's get a quick checkup on that game.
Oh yeah. Quick live update.
Live update: Oklahoma City Thunder are down 108 to 109 against the Denver Nuggets with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But I mean, the Thunder, they're really, really good. They were really, really good last year. They were a 1 seed, and they added Alex Caruso and Isaiah
For
Hartenstein, who
free.
is hurt, but like, yeah, you added Caruso for free.
That's just wild.
That's so wild. Like the rich get richer, and then they got a plethora of like first round picks, and the way that team, like, I know in like, was it like 2015 or not 15, but like the post KD Russell Westbrook era Oklahoma City Thunders, where they were just purposely tanking. We're starting to see those picks now pan out. And then, of course, they made that trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Paul George trade, which
Yeah.
turned uh, turned everything around.
What a haul for them.
Seriously.
What an incredible return on. I'm going to do this. Value. Paul George. I don't know about that. Even, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a whole other thing we don't have to get into, but yeah, I mean, the Thunder they built a monster with all of their draft picks,
They
all
built
of
a
their
monster.
acquisitions. Yeah, I mean, the second that they bring in the extra depth of Isaiah Hartenstein at center, that will be
That's
a
huge.
whole other problem to deal with for other teams. Because I mean, Chet is already such a unique threat in the same kind of threshold that is Wemby as a threat, with
Yes.
just the skills and the ability to make outside shots. Like,
And be able to put the ball on the floor, and it's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's yeah. Sunday night will be quite a game to watch between Warriors Thunder. I want to say that this is, between the next two games, the more winnable of the two, just
I
given the
agree.
full roster consideration. And again, that's just because I'm very afraid of the Cavaliers' size in the interior. But we'll see what that game's like. But I mean, all of last year, all of the matchups with the Thunder were incredible must-watch games. So I'm
Yep.
sure that just like the Celtics game, this is going to be another intense kind of like mutually agreed upon. I mean, not even unspoken at this point because Draymond said a lot of things about their post game
Oh yeah, he did.
barking. So there's already Draymond stirring the pot before the matchup.
Yeah, there's no shortage of entertainment in the NBA.
Yeah.
But
Never
yeah,
shortage.
that's gonna be a great game. Surprised that's not a nationally broadcast game.
Oh, is it not?
It is not. But their
Whoa.
next nationally broadcast game will be on Tuesday, November 12th, when the Dallas Mavericks come to Chase Center. Klay Thompson
Mm,
coming back
yeah.
to the Bay. And that's another hard game too. The
Oh.
Mavericks are a good team. And then you got the Grizzlies and Clippers.
Oh, Grizzlies. Yeah.
Yeah, Grizzlies. I don't know what I think about the Grizzlies yet. They just beat the Lakers. The Lakers were shorthanded, no Anthony Davis. Yeah, I don't know. I we'll find out soon. But
I just realized that the games happening on Tuesday, November 12th, those are the NBA Cup group stage games. So there's other implications with these.
Yes, I'll have to refresh my memory of what the NBA
the group
Cup
stage
really is. Yeah.
There's other implications though aside from records. There's something to take from that, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's just going to be such an interesting game having Klay Thompson back, and yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be a bittersweet game. And I mean, the Mavericks are good. That is a
they are
great
good.
roster. So that should be another exciting game to watch. Yeah, I do want to check the Eastern Conference standings right now. Just
Yeah.
maybe to continue a little bit of a we'll call it a bit for right now because it's still early and we don't want to predict the future right now. But the Bucks,
Let's have a
the
conversation.
Bucks are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference currently at 1-6.
That's terrible. What are the Pistons at?
The Pistons are 12. They're 3-6.
Ooh. Ooh.
The Pistons beating the Lakers recently as well.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah, I mean the 76ers are also just above the Bucks at 14, 1-5. And I know they're dealing with their own health issues and getting their roster kind of back on the floor together. So
Yeah.
I kind of understand that. But the Bucks, they have Dame and Giannis playing.
That's a red flag, like immediate red flag.
Yeah. And I would say that they are missing, a bit of their depth, but it's still scary to watch a team with this much talent just be in free fall right now.
Yeah, they're definitely. It seems like they're spiraling right now, and I don't really know what else to say. Like, you feel like if you got Dame and Giannis, like they'll give you a chance to win a game.
Yeah, you should have a chance. And I mean, just to look forward at their schedule. So they're currently 1-6. They play the Jazz tomorrow. Conceptually, that should be an easy game, right?
Right.
That should be a winnable game. Let's say they win the game. Their next matchup is the Knicks.
That's a hard game.
That's what we'd call a difficult game. The Knicks are a very good roster. They've been playing better. So that's something to consider. And then their next game after that is against the Celtics.
Back-to-back tough games.
So yeah, the Bucks are going to need to start.
You got to start winning.
At least. And again,
And then I think the schedule gets a little easier after that. They play the Raptors, the Pistons, who, hey, Pistons just beat the Lakers. They It's the NBA. Anybody can beat anybody any given night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sports. But yeah, they got the Raptors, the Pistons, the Hornets, Rockets, who are a good team. I'll put them in the good team category. Then the Bulls, who they lost by 11 earlier in the season. Yeah, I don't know what I think about the Bucks. I don't think they're very good right now. Maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe it's deeper than that.
Yeah, I worry with how early the narratives have been spun on
Right.
all the little news feeds of, oh, if the season doesn't go well, Giannis gets traded, and then people are analyzing Dame's his scoring analytics and problems with that.
I feel like that does something to a team.
I
Like
mean,
just having that chatter around, like it's just not good.
look at the Warriors last year. They had so much chatter about them last year. So much talk.
Too much chatter.
Endless. The spotlight's on them because they're a big brand and a big part of the NBA and the culture right now. But then when all of it is in this kind of negative light, and then there's a Kaminga issue with his role at the time, and
Yeah.
Klay Thompson doesn't want to come off the bench, and he's looking at his contract situation, and then we're just playing with Chris Paul on the team now, and we have to figure out if that is something that works. And there was just so much going on with, of course, Draymond and Jordan
Oh,
Poole, and just
and then
that
the
whole
Rudy Gobert suspensions
and
and
Draymond getting kicked out every other game, and him missing, I think, 23 games last year off of suspensions or
yeah,
otherwise.
a good chunk of games.
Like that type of narrative and discussion happening around you all the time, as you said, that has to have an impact on, I mean, the locker room. And then
Yeah.
you're just not winning games. Like the Warriors started off well last year when they were all
They did.
healthy, and they started off at a pace where people were like, "Oh, they're going to be a competitor." Like they're going to be up there with the rest of these elite Western Conference teams. And then they completely fell apart and started losing every game on the
Yeah.
road, which was kind of hard to watch.
And they were losing games at home, and then they were losing games that they were leading by like 30 plus or like 20 plus, and
I think it was like it was either like 14 or 16 games that they lost where they were leading by at least 12 or 13 points.
yeah,
Like
it was so
unbelievable just collapses that we had to watch. And I mean, some of them were just like last second game winner buzzer beater shots where it was just
right.
like, okay.
The Chet one comes to mind immediately.
Jokic hit 1-2 at half court.
Yeah.
That was a brutal one.
The heave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that sucked.
And I mean, I will say the Warriors, for all the chatter and all the demand of like, oh, you should just trade Kaminga, trade Podziemski, and trade so and so, get rid of Clay. Like they kind of kept a level head through it of just like, we're just gonna ride this out and not make a dramatic blow
like
it all up kind of trade. I am curious to see what the Bucks do with the situation, because I feel like with how Giannis has treated his interest in acquiring and trading players, that if he just demands a trade because he doesn't think that the team is doing well, it's not the front office saying, "Oh, we are going to move you." It's Giannis wanting to be traded. I think the front office might actually consider that.
Yeah, and especially for a guy he's been so loyal to that franchise and to the city that like you'd hope that they would do right by him and like meet his requests or meet his demands. I feel like that's the right thing to do for your franchise player who brought you a championship, even if it
Yeah.
is like not what you want to do because he is still in his prime. And
Oh yeah.
any team that acquires Giannis gets better instantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see how the Bucks kind of what they do moving forward. Like, obviously, they got to start winning games, and then a lot of the chatter kind of quiets down.
Hmm.
But if they
Yeah.
don't win games, what are you gonna do? You can't just keep firing coaches.
Yeah. There's going to be a decision, especially with more losses piling up. There's going to be a decision that's demanded much sooner rather than later. And
Yeah,
I was considering that they would kick the can down the road a little bit, but bottom of the East, 1-6, not
yeah,
good.
that's kind of hard to come back from, especially early on. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you
Yeah.
got your. I mean, the East is interesting, man, because like we got the Cavs at 9-0, Celtics at 7-2. Then after that is a huge drop off, where we got like the Heat at 3-3, Pacers at 4-4, Nets at 4-4. Like, the East does not look very good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that we have for the West, you have to go down to the Clippers, who are 11th in the standings, to see a losing record, and then in the East, you have to go to 6. The
That is
Hawks
a
with the losing record.
playoff team that you avoid the play-in tournament,
Yeah,
and then in the West, like you're just fighting for your life. Like
yeah,
every loss could mean so much like down the line. Which, like, by the way, I think the Suns right now. I think I'm a believer in the Suns right now.
yeah. You're buying in.
I'm buying in, but I'm a Kevin Durant fan, so
Well, yeah. I mean, as am
that
I. Let's see. Oh, the Suns, they played tonight against the Heat. Beat them by 3. Oh, good game.
interesting.
Nurkic with 20 points and 18 rebounds.
God damn, have a night.
Wow.
But yeah, the Suns are 6-1. They're right there with the Warriors in the one loss category. Thunder undefeated, or are they? Let's check back in. Oh, the Thunder
Oh, yeah.
just lost 122 to 124. Breaking news.
Uh-oh. The
So
Warriors, who have a better in-conference record, does that make them, with
first
updated
place.
standings, first in the West?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not updated. Show me what I want to see. I don't know when it's going to update. That's something to.
but I think you're right though, because they have 5 wins in the conference. Thunder have 4. I think that would, right?
Which I guess are the Nuggets in their division?
Yes. I believe they're in the same division as the Blazers, and it's a whole weird division. I forget. It's not the Pacific Division, but
It's a Western division or something.
yeah, hold on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Do some research.
Yeah. All right. Why is this so hard to find?
Oh. I found it.
All right, what do we got?
So they are in the Northwest Division. The Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Blazers, and the Jazz.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, the Minnesota's kind of way out there, but the rest of the teams kind of make sense.
Yeah, generally.
So no, like the Pacific, it's like the Warriors, the Lakers, Clippers, Kings, and the Suns.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah.
kind of, that makes, the West Coast. All right. And then you got then there's another division, but it's like the Texas teams.
Yeah, it's the Southwest Division. Mavericks, Rockets, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Spurs.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Thunder, yeah, their conference with the Nuggets, that loss dropped them to 4-1 in conference. So yeah, I think the Warriors would end up taking first in the standings after that gets recorded, and I desperately just want to see that. I just want it to update. Please, no. It's not going to give it to me. I won't get that satisfaction tonight. I'll look
But
at
it's
it
all
tomorrow.
good. Yeah. We'll take it as of now. Unofficially, the Warriors are in first place. Great win tonight in Boston. And we got some challenging games moving forward, but at least we can sleep easy tonight and wait for our standings to refresh to see where we're currently at. But I
Yeah.
think that's going to wrap things up for us tonight. Thank you all for listening, as always. Have a great rest of your evening and stay tuned for the next one.
Good night. See you the next time.